Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CCL Alpha Streams. Myself, Seymour, alongside Cruz, and we got West Virginia, Potomac State University up against Concord Gray, and there's going to be such a great matchup between the two of them. We had a little bit of a blunder before that, some connection issues. So we are ahead of schedule, but nonetheless, now we get to see two great teams face off.
And I mean, like you said, two fantastic teams, West Virginia, Potomac State. They're coming in. It's going to be Bruford, Phantom, Kelly, and Valley coming in as the roster for them today. And then on the other side, it's Concord Gray, and it's going to be Trash, Trollman, Cryptics, and Captain Johnny Boy coming on in. And I mean, I think we're in for a really good one here tonight, Seymour.
Oh yeah, fabulous rosters. We've seen them all through the regular stages, and yes, Concord Gray has a great big brother to look at, Concord Maroons, some great coaching behind them and some great players to look up to. So excited to see what this Concord Gray team it has to offer. But maps are set. We have all five ahead of us: Apocalypse, Moscow, Garrison, Checkmate, and Express. Let's talk about it a little bit, cruising. Who favors these vetoes? Because these are some interesting vetoes having both Apocalypse and Express in the mix.
I gotta say, I think that these vetoes favor the side of Potomac State. It's a little bit tough, but Concord Gray is very, very good at raid in every single map and mode. So to see that raid got vetoed out for every map and mode is great to see for the side of Potomac State. They're able to basically get rid of Concord Gray's best map and mode combo for every single version of every game. So just the fact that they were able to get those maps out just individually makes this series so much more go in their favor.
We were talking about it beforehand and seeing that the raid, you're like, okay, Potomac State, if you want good vetoes, ban raid, and it's exactly what they did. Like we're talking about, but definitely have some must-win maps for Concord Gray now, forcing that out of it. And I have to see the hard points, the respawns are going to be troublesome for these teams because they're so even in the standings for both respawn maps that are in here. And Apocalypse Hardpoint, neither team has played it. So let's talk about these respawns. Who needs to win what?
Right now, I think it's really a toss-up between the Resons and the Surges. If you look at overall modes and records, they're very even in those two regards, but it really is going to come down to the control because West Virginia, Potomac State is so much heavier involved in the control. They have so many more wins in it. I feel like that's almost a guaranteed map mode combo that they're going to take away. When you're looking at the side of Concord Gray, that's one that, hey, if they can steal it, that's great for them, but likely not going to happen. So they're really going to be looking to pick up one of these first two maps for sure.
And these are big maps. Indeed, I mean, Moscow, both of these teams fairly close in that, but we also have some players to watch out for. We introduced the rosters. Now we have the maps. We have the must wins. Who are we looking at, Cruz, to switch this up for Concord Gray?
Well, I mean, for Concord Gray right now, I think you have to be looking at Cryptics. He averages the most amount of hill time for the side of them at 97 seconds a game. But the only issue with him is his KD not the highest. He's only coming in at a 1.01. He's going to need to bring that up against a team like Potomac State if he wants to be able to bring this up and really be able to pull off this first game win. And then if you're looking over on the other side for the side of Potomac State, you're just looking at Bruford. Bruford needs to continue to do what he's done all year. He gets a lot of hill time and he has a 1.7 KD. It's exactly what you want out of one of your main slayers. And it's exactly what he does every time he plays.
Well, 100%, and we're going to be hopping into Apocalypse map 1 very shortly, everyone. So the game will be starting for these teams. I know they're amped to get in here. So Apocalypse Hardpoint Cruise, we don't see it very often, but we get to see it here. The rotations are going to be heavy for this team. I expect a bloodbath. What are we looking at?
I mean, this is a newer map for a lot of teams, but in case you didn't know, it's going to be hills 2 and 5 are going to be your main money hills. Concord Gray actually started off on the side of the hill that you really want to have for now, and that's why you can already see Potomac State's already trying to put a lot of pressure towards that top right side of the mini-map, and that's why you can see this player, Johnny Boy, he's sitting in the far back. They don't want to lose these temple spawns right now because you can get a full 60 on the second hill.
Bruford in the back, Johnny Boy, if he gets caught out here, this would be so big for Potomac State. We're just going to play patient right now. Johnny Boy does spot him out. A scrimmage on the point number 1 right now, but Potomac State coming out on top, and Kelly finally breaking. Johnny Boy in the back is going to flip these spawns for P2. Concord Gray spawning all the way back in that P5, P4 area. Even Potomac State coming out with the majority of points here. It's a really good start for the side of Potomac State.
Yeah, it's definitely not the start that Concord Gray wanted. One player is going to spawn out from the side of Potomac State. Oh, 2 actually spawn out, though. If they can find the last, and they do, so Concord Gray flip the spawns out at the very end. And I mean, the reason they spawn out there is because that first hill is still active. So because they're able to find those kills on transition, and while that hill's active, they're going to spawn on the left side of the mini map still because they were blocking that right hand side. And now the side of Potomac State, they got to push all the way over and try to push in through this tiny choke points. And I mean, Concord Gray set up here to get a lot of time.
Troll steps in first, Troll for 2, almost lines up for the 3rd, but Bruford breaks on through. Potomac State from the front, successful. Still have to clear these spawns, though, and a nice conversion from Concord Gray, Johnny Boy, and Paralysis, each getting 2 of their own. Valley turns up big for Potomac State, and they're still holding on from the front of this. So a scrappy game so far, even at that, and everybody's rushing to this next hard point.
Yeah, they're going to be heading to the barrel hard point now, and I mean, everybody just gives up the rest of that time. So I mean, that at least for the side of Concord Gray, you didn't have those initial spawns, so you were able to make that hill scrappy at the end of it all. And still, it's only going to be around a 10-point game as we start to head into this. Those big 2-piece from Paralysis there will give them early time on this hill. And you can see them. They are now trying to zone out both sides of the hill. Player number 2 is pushed all the way up that left-hand side. He sees where all those players are spawning, but player 7 is on a potential to the back.
Paralysis 7-4. Makes it a 4 streak. Player above sandbags to his right, but still alive and on this streak, keeping it alive. Finds Kelly. Now he's on his way to streaks. 5 in a row for Paralysis. Gonna hop right back onto that hard point. His team watching over him. Big pick onto Valley. Gonna take a little bit of time. And Potomac State getting here. Paralysis. I want to see if he can convert first streaks. Finally gets spotted out. Gonna rotate back on. Play safe. 20 seconds for Potomac State to beat this out. Paralysis only 1 more for that artillery strike. Bruford has to be careful, and he's not going to get the streaks. The double kill for Bruford, and Potomac State dropped 3 in a row.
They do drop 3 in a row, but now they're going to move over towards this next hill, and they're going to have an early time and set up for this courtyard hill. You can see Valley is just really set up in the middle. 2 players are there to help him out. 1 player's in Coop, but you can see player number 3 is putting so much focus towards this left-hand side of the map. He doesn't want to give up these spawns over here because that's where the next hill is going to pop, and that next hill can give you so much more time than this one can. But, I mean, if they don't challenge Potomac State inside the hill at all, Potomac State can absolutely turn this one into a money hill itself.
You got 40 points to gain here. Valley watching that short chokehold. Paralysis finds a way in. Still trade to keep it even. Contention on the point from Johnny Boy. Gives it back into the favor of Concord Gray. Bruford being very patient, waiting for his team to come back into this. But while he's waiting, Concord Gray surrounding, getting into the backline. Bruford with a crucial kill through the wall to clean up on Cryptics. The rotation here, it's going to be steady for Potomac State, but they lose out on spawn, so that's going to force Bruford to have to go even bigger than he is right now, and Phantom dropping is going to be spelled trouble.
Yeah, it's literally just going to leave Bruford here in the back by himself. He has to deal with everybody on the side of Concord. He's up in the top and he can't do it. So again, Concord, they're doing such a good job towards the end of these middle hard points to just zone out on one side, block the spawns, and force the side of Potomac State to be spawning out in the less preferred side going into those next hills. And now you again have Concord Gray set up early on one of these hills. And I mean, I feel like that's so far been the difference in this game. That's why you're seeing them up 30 points right now, is because they're doing just such a better job of getting those early spawns.
Valley does get caught out. Cryptics with a big 2-piece, but a nice try from Potomac State. Cryptics, what are you doing? 4 go down. They still have the spawns though. Potomac State still have a chance at this. They finally take down Cryptics. Valley rocking the MP5, but he gets caught out from behind. Paralysis hits that flank, gets a nice 2-piece, and Concord Gray do break the hill to hold on to the P5. And now they got to rotate back over. We got the rotations and the reset for this map. Back to point 1.
And I mean, Concord Gray was really able to turn this around after losing those first spawns on the 4P2 on the first set of rotations very early. They've been able to turn it around. They find themselves up 50 here. Yes, you don't have the spawns right now, but we've seen them flip up these spawns once before for the next hill. So right now, they're chilling. They're fine. They just want to get as much time as they can here on point 1. Try to find as many kills as they can, and they're doing it right now in the field. Did you see 3 go down? They get the side spawns they want, and they flip it once again. Potomac State, you guys got to start putting a little bit more focus on keeping that side spawns.
Heads up from Cryptics to turn his head on a swivel. Watch from behind. Johnny Boy has his shoulder. Kelly goes down. From the opposite side of the map, Troll trying to hold the front line. Does go down to Bruford, so Bruford is going to make it a little bit scrappy in the backline for those spawns. You do see some players kind of spawning out for Concord Gray, so a race to this next hill. And number 6, Bruford, all the way in the back, is going to have an important 2v1. He comes out on top. That's going to guarantee Potomac State the spawns.
Will Paralysis check the corner? That's the real question right now. He does not. And Bruford gets both in the back. That's so huge. Locks down spawns for the side of Potomac State here in this hill. And I mean, this could be the hill that brings them right back into this game.
Absolutely. Just need one hill for it. A full 60 would be amazing for this team. Concord Gray dropping from the half wall. Paralysis does find Phantom, but Kelly slips into the slot that he dropped.
How far out Concord Gray is spawning.
Exactly that. A whole trek to get right back in this. So much time for right now.
And they're doing exactly what they need to do on this hill. I said they needed to start setting up for these hills a little bit earlier. They do, but Troll in the back is going to find two. That should spawn at least one out. No, they all still continue to spawn on the hill. Luckily for them, those Concord Gray players are still close enough that they weren't going to get spawned out. It's really just Phantom by himself, but Phantom gets 3 and locks down the rest of the time for the side of Potomac State.
Absolutely beautiful. And Concord Gray, they give it up now. Troll continuing his slay spree, sitting at 23 and 17, back onto to the stilts hard point. This is where Concord Gray got a lot of time as well, so definitely can blow this one out of proportion if Potomac State can't break through like they did last time. You take a look at the lock. It's exactly where we're heading. It's going to pop, and Troll left alone. Paralysis doing the dirty work all around him. Nobody can touch Troll right now because Concord Gray is just slaying all around the map. Johnny Boy gets another 2.
A lot of individual pushes,
combined 7 spree for Concord Gray at the moment. After Troll goes down, that's going to be a little bit mix-up.
Yeah, the start of that hill, it was just like a lot of small little individual pushes. Paralysis was on 4. He was trying to find more. He unfortunately couldn't. But again, you've still got Troll inside the hill. Does finally get shut down. So now you're going to have Potomac State. They're going to get a little bit of time here. And the reason they're able to break that time as opposed to the first is they didn't just individually challenge one-on-one over and over again. They set up, they pushed as a team. They were able to break into the hill. And now you can see them trying to put so much focus on this because with this scrap time, we're virtually at a tie game again.
But Concord, they break through, and they have spawns for next. So you get to set up early once again. Potomac State forcing the scrap time. Phantom with some good timing takes out the first. Possibly getting Cryptics as well would be a great job. Valley helps him out. So breaking through into this next hill, Potomac State, big chance to tie this game up right now.
Yeah, break is so huge. They stop the side of Concord Gray from getting over the 200 mark, which is one of those marks, like, once you get there, you're only 50 seconds away from being able to win the game. They at least shut that down for the time being. If they're able to hold on to the remainder of this time, they could be in for a lead change here as well. And at the very moment, they're getting kind of zoned out, so if they do end up losing these gunfights, they could spawn out depending on where these spawns come in at, but they will continue to spawn on the favored side of the map right now.
And neither team has played this map, and as close as it is, exactly what I expected. Paralysis on the hard point for 2. Can't get the third. Phantom's going to shut him down, but the help is there. Troll doing what Troll's been doing all game and just taking out his enemies. Finds Kelly through the wall. You can't wallbang that, and Kelly comes out on top. Nice conversion of 2 kills for Potomac State, holding on to these spawns for the rotation. Paralysis, oh my lord, Paralysis, another 3 in his books. Puts him right back onto a spree and breaks the 30 mark.
Unfortunately for him, though, he gets that spree, but they still all spawn up in the back. At least this gives Concord Gray some numbers now. They have them pinned back there. So as they find these kills, because of where they're positioned, it should spawn the side of Potomac State out. And yes, it does. The only player close is Phantom. He needs to try to break on into this hill because Concord Gray can win on this hill.
Concord Gray can do exactly that, especially when you have Paralysis on the hill, shooting like Paralysis is. Johnny Boy pushing the lane, getting the nice kills on the cross, watching over each other. The help is here. Full flood through trenches. The nade's going to be doing so much splash damage. Cryptics is going crazy. Cryptics with 2. Troll finishes it up. Concord Gray needs 10 points.
It's just
Paralysis now rushing. Nobody can touch. 5 seconds. You have to rush. I don't think they can touch. So 2 seconds left. And Concord Gray are going to start off with a huge hardpoint win.
What was that? What? If this is our first game that we're getting right now, both these teams look very good at hardpoint. Oh, Seymour, we are in for a series here, my friend.
Well, we were talking about 4 favorable maps in the vetoes. Apocalypse, neither team has played it. And it looks like we've seen some practice from Concord Gray because feeling very comfortable. So many sprees for each player, helping each other out and pushing the lanes exactly like they need to do. It looked very comfortable for Concord Gray, but Potomac State, they weren't far behind. So exactly like you say, both teams comfortable in hardpoint. We got a series.
I think the big thing that we need to talk about from that map, though, is just how good Concord Gray was at in those middle hills. Once again, they were zoning out the side of Potomac State so well to the point where they would push all the way through. They're able to flip those spawns out time and time again and just set up for those early power hills. And because they were doing that, it just led to so much time going their way. And at the end of the day, when it's a score that close, you got to think that that was the game changer for this map 1.
a big game changer. And now we get to move on to Search and Destroy with Concord Gray winning one of the must-win maps that we were talking about for the squad. Because we're hopping into a series where Potomac State are going to have an advantage in that. Have a lot of reps on Moscow Search and Destroy compared to Concord Gray, sitting 5-5, whereas Concord Gray, they're 1-2 on this map. They haven't played it as much. They haven't seen the lights of Moscow for Search too often in CCL. So if Potomac State was going to pull this back in a series and tie it up, it'd be exactly in the Search and Destroy.
It will be exactly the Search and Destroy, like you said. I think one thing that we didn't touch on before we started in this series was the fact that these two teams have played once before this season. When they played the first time through Concord Grade, they took both hard points. The side of Potomac State, they took both Search and Destroys. And like I said, it really comes down to that control at the end of the day. And that one did go in the favor of Potomac State for them to take the series. So, I mean, you got to think if this one goes the distance, Search and Destroy does favor Potomac State at the end of the day. But they need to be able to carry out and win these next two modes and really honestly take that control away.
Honestly, you have to be a little bit scary looking at the distance in this. So Potomac State, if it goes to a map 5 in this sense, they're 0-2 on Express. So looking to close this out in the next 3 maps because, I mean, yes, Concord Gray hasn't played Express yet, but knowing that you've dropped those 2 maps in that Game 5 series, probably want to close it out a little bit early if you're the Potomac State Esports squad. So we're gonna be hopping into this Moscow Search and Destroy as map number 2. A big game for Potomac State to pull this one back. Talk to me a little bit. What do they need to do to draw this to a 1-1?
I mean, for Potomac State in Search and Destroy, I really feel again. I think it's going to come down to Johnny Boy. He's the captain of the team. He's only rocking a 1.6 KD right now in Search and Destroy, and at this level, it's just not good enough. You need to pick that KD up, come on in, and just really come out here and set the pace for your team. You guys don't have the best record when it comes to Moscow Search, like you said, at 1-2. So it's not one of your best maps, not one of your worst maps. I don't mind the map pick for them, but they really do need to come out and just come away with a big win here for themselves. And I believe Moscow was one of the games that they played in the last series. So it was Potomac State that came away with it. It was a 6-4 win.
That's a close one too. Not as comfortable as you would hope for Potomac State pushing into this for Moscow. The start of this game, I would like to see Concord, if they were going to keep their momentum going from map 1, go for a little bit of kind of like creative, diverse plays. Make sure that Potomac State has to keep thinking about your hits, and you don't want to do the same thing over and over again because you don't want to be that team that you only played this map 3 times. You're just kind of a one trick on this map. So talk to me a little bit about this, like what you want to see these teams do in variation to Moscow Search.
I mean, like Moscow Search, especially in those early rounds when you're not going to have trophies, I want to see teams hitting and utilizing that B set a little bit more on
Yeah.
offense than what we see. It's really honestly a shame when you see two teams in a first round running head on at each other at the A site when you could really play time, push over towards that B site, get a pick, get an easy bomb plant down. Usually you can watch it from the street as well. It makes your life so much easier in the early rounds as opposed to pushing through and just being stunned and naded up in those early parts of the round when you don't have trophies.
The trophies. I mean, a lot of people neglect the whole trophy thing at the start. You have to realize that these teams don't want that heavy hits to these sites in the early game because you got nothing to stall out from those nades that are going to be coming out. We are going to hop into this Moscow Search and Destroy. These teams ready to go and already an attack to the A site. Paralysis leading the way. Control goes down. Valley for a second. Roofer does get cut out, but the damage has already been done. Valley makes it all up to Johnny Boy. Maybe if he catches out Phantom here, it would be good, but a 1v3, troubling.
Oh man, and I feel like Cryptic, you got one. You didn't have to over challenge that at all. Nobody was around you. You could have gotten away with your life there. Now you leave Johnny Boy in a terrible situation where he's got to rotate all the way through the back of this, get that bomb down, and you just have everybody on the side of Potomac State. They're all just hiding in corners. They don't have to worry about pushing out right now. They know that this bomb is down.
Oh, that's Johnny. Valley's going to spot this one out. Goes down very low, almost turns on him, but Valley's going to clean up on that kill. A big first round for Potomac State to bounce back after their map 1 loss. It's really up to Valley right here. 3 kills in this round. And I mean, reach out onto Cryptics, and like you said, Cryptics probably didn't even need to take this fight.
And I mean, it's one of those things that we didn't even need to we said straight up at the start, you don't need to hit that A site. You don't have trophies on offense. It doesn't make sense to hit the A site in the first round. Maybe I guess they're trying to maybe throw them off a little bit by going towards the B site or going towards the A site because it isn't the best strategy in early rounds anymore. But now that you're gonna have both these teams getting closer and closer to these trophies, you gotta imagine they're gonna start heading towards that A site shortly. But it looks like a B hit coming in from the side of Potomac State, at least hitting mid right now, trying to just spot out, see if they can see any of these players. But once they spot all these players up at for Concord Maroon up at that A site, you got to imagine they're going to rotate the bomb over towards the B site, or if these players start to rotate out, they can still hit A. This is why mid hit is so big in early rounds.
Well, Valley does get picked up by his stun. You do see, since this push is so slow, Paralysis has moved over to the half wall. So he is going to catch out on this rotation if they do decide to go to B. But with number 5 moving from Boulevard back into that, you see the escalator hit to A, and now it's going to be a 2v4. A 2v3 at that, and Cryptics, bad timing. Troll pulls out with the first, and Cryptics make it good timing as he goes right back to that corner, drops 2, and it's all up to Bruford now in a 1v3.
I mean, we've seen Methods do some crazy things on this map, but he is not in a great position to be able to do it himself. The crossfire is set up towards the top as well. He's going to slide out, should get shot in the back. Actually, Cryptic's not going to spot him yet. Finally does. He picks up the round win. And I mean, I feel like that's just too slow of an offense from Concord. They really don't get any information with how passively they played that round. And then once they try to all push on into the site, it's an easy 2-piece for Cryptics here on the bomb. And then once you get those 2 kills, your teammate finds the extra. When you're in a 4v1 situation, it's almost impossible to lose that situation.
Concord Gray ties it up. You got 2 players without a kill right now. Cryptic's pulling out huge on that game with 3 of his own. Exactly what Valley did the last time around. Doesn't look like they're going exactly to A just yet. A variation of what Potomac just did. But look at the defense. The defense are going to be meeting them here. It's going to be an absolute bloodbath. Valley does find one. A quick trade from Cryptics to even us up.
Oh, watch the flank.
Slows it down. Bruford, he's going to escape with that kill. And like you said, the flank coming out from number 6, Phantom. Bruford doing the work. We're doing it all right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think Phantom's just actually sitting back there right now, just trying to see if he can spot a player trying to rotate back through. Now that they know his position, both players should try to pinch on into this. He is in a 1 versus 2, so not the best situation for him right now, but he is on 5 in a row as well. So, I mean, at this point for him, just play your streaks.
If he does find both of these kills, he is going to be well on his way to that artillery strike. But still, the buddy system for Potomac State. Rotating around through screens, free plant to the B site for Cryptics, and he's planting for Boulevard.
Oh yeah, you can definitely just go out and watch this from the Boulevard. It's exactly what he's going to do now. Now, if you're Potomac State, though, you got to take this fight in a 2 versus 1. You have to make sure you stay together and trade out effectively here.
They should realize that as soon as they see the bomb. 30 seconds now for this retake. Kelly going to push it. You spotted those toes. Going for a little hunt, and now it's a 1-on-1. You know exactly where he is. The full rotation. Phantom v Cryptics.
He's not on it, right?
No, he's hopping on the bomb, but bad time for himself. Not going to expect the flank. Concord Gray on the back of Cryptics. What was that, a 1v4?
It was a 1v4. He got an ace. Like crazy round. I mean, we're kind of putting a little bit less on that than it was because it was very long and drawn out, but a very nice 1v4 from him there. And I mean, it comes down to, like I said, when you're in a 2v1 situation, you have to push all the way out and just play together, play as a team. And they took 2 individual gunfights there, and they end up losing the round.
I'm surprised that Phantom didn't push with Kelly. And Kelly had his back turned to that. No information their way at all. And now,
and Cryptics get streaks too. We didn't even talk about that either. But yeah,
about to get to that 7 streak right now for Cryptics.
And yeah, just a really big fight towards A here. If he can find 1, he's going to guarantee himself the cruise missile. He's over-challenging a little bit here, and he falls. So it's going to be a 1 versus 2 now for Johnny Boy. Bomb will go down at A.
Johnny Boy 0-2. Do what Cryptics did. Well, Bruford literally feeds him that first kill. Another individual gunfight leaving Kelly last alive. And Kelly's going to actually move right into where Bruford was moving to. Back pillars. The bomb planted. Looks like the bomb's planted for escalators, actually. So you can't see it through the wall at the moment. Johnny Boy for a full rotation through fountain. No, the bomb is planted for screens. So Kelly in a perfect position to shut this one down. Johnny Boy spots him. Kelly slides across gardens, and I'm sure they both know exactly where each other are. Johnny Boy has to hit this time right now. And Kelly with the internal clock, you're going to know that. You're going to go for the kill. And Johnny Boy's going to lose out on this round, giving a tie game once again, 2-2.
And I mean, all Johnny Boy's doing there at the end is he's just trying to hope that Kelly gets a little over anxious and peeks this early on one of the two angles that he can to try to check and see if that bomb is getting diffused or not. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have the timing at the end of the day there, and they're going to end up falling in that round. And I mean, that's a good round out of Potomac State. They absolutely needed to pick that up. You don't want to go down 3-1 to this Concord Gray team, who have looking a lot better in Search and Destroy than what we've seen them looking earlier in this season. So it's nice to see coming out of them. You can see Paralysis and Johnny Boy both sitting at 1-3 right now and 1-4. So you know they want to pick it up, but a very fast A-hit coming in here. Only 2 players from the side of Potomac State to try to shut it down.
Well, we've seen this before. Paralysis being careful. A lot more careful than he was last time, but you're not realizing that Phantom is doing exactly what Phantom needs to do. Being a ghost in the back line. Rupert drops another one. Cryptix is out of play. Paralysis so big here. Might catch off Kelly. No, only a little bit of a shot in the back, and now you're going to go for the full wrap around. Valley goes down. Kelly for the trade, and that's Potomac State finding a defensive round and taking the lead for the first time.
Yeah, Potomac State, and I mean, this is what we said. We said this is a map win, or a map that they absolutely need to win. A great defense coming out of them this time. They were able to shut down that push from the side of Concord Gray, and they don't give up the big man advantage this time. I mean, like, realistically, they could be up 4-1 in this series, right, or in this map right now.
Absolutely. If Cryptix doesn't get that 1v4. So now you have to be a little bit worried if you are Concord Gray.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they need to make sure they're pushing a little bit better together as a team. They're not finding the trades, and it's just they're always seem to be going in the way of Potomac State right now. Outside of that 1v4, I mean, what round have they really had the man advantage and held in right now?
Phantom, so fast. You have bomb too. If Johnny Boy finds this, it's going to put that bomb in such an uncomfortable spot. Johnny Boy for 1, Johnny Boy for 2, and he shuts it down at the seams. Kelly does transfer for one of their own, but still, now if you're a Potomac State, you have to go recover that bomb.
And if you're Concord Gray, you got to know that that bomb is down. These 2 players are trying to push through. You just need to make sure you play your man advantage right now. And all 3 players are playing very separately. So if they find a pick on one, they should be able to get away with their lives. And I mean, this is what we've been saying time and time again. Concord Gray, you need to play together a little bit better here. There's only 1 player playing over towards this B side on an island right now. The other 2 are towards that A side, but still playing very, very separate angles from each other. But it looks like the bomb hit is coming in towards that A side.
This is the wrong call for Potomac State, but they don't know that. Johnny Boy with a crossfire on breaks on Troll. Troll having a lot of damage last game on that hard point. Bruford spots out Johnny Boy. Troll another 1v1. Kelly spots him out. The pre-fire is not good. And that's a big kill right now for Potomac State. They have to get the bomb down now. Bruford's going to go for that. Johnny Boy goes down. It's all up to Paralysis, and he's in a perfect position. Bruford hops off it. Paralysis just has to run. Bruford's actually going to stick
back on it.
Okay, so he has time to plant this. Paralysis is playing the 1v2.
He had time to get the bomb down, and now Paralysis has to go around the corner. He's able to get the first onto Bruford, leaving him in a 1-versus-1.
Kelly around the corner as Paralysis expected. Not
he didn't expect it. Oh, he didn't expect them to double stack in the corner. He thought maybe they were gonna try to set up for a little bit of a pinch and so they can crossfire on him there. Not going to be the case. And I mean, this whole round is one off of Johnny Boy finding that 2-piece off the start. I mean, and if Concord Gray would have thrown that round away, man, you know they would have been kicking themselves.
Absolutely. Concord Gray throwing away a round they definitely should have won. Paralysis. If you get that kill on Bruford, a different story in total, but Bruford doing a good job escaping with enough time to plant. Fast A hit once again. Paralysis leading the way.
But Paralysis might get shot in the side here. 1 player was pushing through gold. Johnny Boy will find another first blood here for the side of Concord Maroon. And I mean, they're trading out. They find the kills this time. But here's another situation where they're in a man advantage. And if they lose this round, you got to think that's 3 rounds out of, 3 that they will have lost because of losing while having a man advantage. They need to make sure they're picking up these rounds when they have these man advantages.
Let me get a full swing to B. And number 8, Kelly's not even going to see this bomb go down, playing top police. The difference in this round is that Phantom wasn't able to find that kill on Johnny Boy. So Concord Gray already making some swaps. Troll's going to be watching the cross-through checkers.
What a cheeky angle.
Bruford gets caught out. Nobody's going to expect that one. Kelly does make it a little bit interesting in a 1v2. On a 7 spree, let me tell you. So Shriek's in Kelly's hand, totally under my radar. Now looking to make it 9.
He has to make sure that the players aren't defusing the bomb. It's been a hot minute since he's checked this bomb, but luckily for him, nobody's hopped onto it yet. He takes the 1v1 with Troll on the outside, but Paralysis should be right there for the trade.
Enough time still for the defuse. You can expect a hop up. Great positioning from Concord Gray. They're going to find their third round in this game. They're going to shut this one down. Plenty of time for Kelly to get that defuse, but not expecting that fast gunfight right up in the face.
They finally closed out one of these situations where they have the man advantage. They got the bomb down. They were able to close it out finally. They could realistically, themselves right now, they minus them throwing away those 2 rounds, they could be up 5-2 right now. The only issue I think that you find from this, though, is, yeah, you win that round, but now you got Kelly fully streaked out and just ready to run over you guys with them.
Cryptic still has his artillery strike, so streaks on both sides. Johnny Boy's going to have some action. And shuts it right down once again. Mid, can he get a second? He does make it a third. No, Phantom is going to win that one out. Johnny Boy getting absolutely world starred by Phantom. 4 and 5 now leaves it in a 2v3 and making it interesting for Potomac State. Paralysis, though, wants this win, wants to tie it up. Phantom's going to go for the full round, try to do something heroic. But they know exactly where he is. The nades are just going to keep him dancing. Shot punch, 1v2. Both players on a crossfire. Screens and bricks. And Phantoms has 37 seconds. Bomb in hand, too. Can try to play the mind game here.
He's trying to push over towards this A side. He just wants to spot out with a stun there. And I mean, if he hustles, he might just have a chance to get over towards that B site. But I mean, Concord Gray, at some point, they're going to look at this bomb and realize, hey, he's no longer over here. He's just rotating over towards the B site, but he should be able to get this bomb down for free. He's in a 1 versus 2 situation. We've seen them be able to close these rounds up before. Can Concord Gray pick it up this time and not allow another 1 versus 2 here?
Last time it was Cryptics in this position. Phantoms, though, wraps all the way around mid. Cryptic spots him out. The Craig trying to take the kill, but a little bit shaky shots and Troll. The bait and switch. Plenty of time to get this defuse. We got ourselves a tie game.
The difference in these last couple rounds has got to be the fact that Concord Gray finally coming out with these man advantage wins. They time and time again, they're finding the opening picks off the back of Johnny Boy. I think he has 3 or 4 first bloods right now, and they weren't picking up the rounds. Now, finally, towards the end of these rounds, they're picking them up. I still don't even think Johnny Boy needs to over-challenge here and go for the third fight, but he does. Unfortunately, he falls. Luckily for him, though, the team able to close out the rest of that round. And I mean, they absolutely need to start thinking about using these streaks at some point in this game. Both teams have a lot of them, and I mean, even just using the ping from that artillery strike can be so huge towards the end of these rounds. Just spotting out where these players are on their defenses.
And first, you gotta get the bomb down before you can use that artillery strike, and they've struggled to get this bomb down at 8 again and again.
There's only 2 players here this time for Potomac. Oh, here comes the streak.
So they're gonna give up the site and use these streaks. Paralysis does make its way through. The streak finds nothing. Kelly even shooting at it right after that. Can't get down on Troll, and Concord Gray, a flawless round, taking out not just the round win, but also a streak out of the hands of Potomac State.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I like that streak usage from the side of Potomac State. They just kind of sat in the back, tried to get a kill with the streak, and then ended up everybody falling. If you're going to use a streak like that, you got to make sure that when you're pushing players into those choke points, you've got people set up to get the kills. They lose all the gunfights and ultimately lose the round. And now Concord Gray puts themselves one win away from being able to put this game away. And I mean, they're back on defense. Their defenses have looked very strong so far. I think Johnny Boy still does have that streak as well in his back pocket. Cryptics has that streak in his back pocket. So if he's able to use that to his advantage in this round, I mean, they can absolutely come away with it.
Unless he goes down early in this aggressive position. Not the chance right now. Bruford does get the trade. No streaks are going to come out from Concord Gray. Bruford makes himself a 3-piece. Johnny Boy gets in behind. A little bit interesting now. 1v1. Kelly versus Bruford for the victory in Concord Gray's hand.
Johnny Boy's been the person all day for Concord Gray.
But so is Kelly, though. The reason why Kelly has streaks right in there. 5-5. We got ourselves around 11.
Oh my god. And I mean, this is a push where you've got 3 people set up here. If you're Concord Gray, I feel like you need to win these engagements. But Bruford picks up a huge 2-piece, opens up the site. They get the bomb down. and it just makes it so much harder. And now we're going into a round 11, and both sides still have an artillery strike.
I mean, Cryptics, I don't think that's the player you want on the pillar when you have an artillery strike in hand.
No, not at all.
Going for a default mid hit, like we've seen from Potomac State, but Johnny Boy's been that character to stall this one out all day long.
Sounds like somebody is invested their artillery. I think that's got to be the side of Concord.
Oh
Great.
my lord, Cryptics and Kelly Bruford now 1v2. Both artillery strikes going big on the map. Now, can Bruford close this out? Got a 3-piece last game. Troll's ahead of him. He can isolate this 1v1. Sees Troll. Takes Troll down 1v1. Cryptics and Bruford. They're side by side as well. This is absolutely insane.
God. He's going to get back to full health as well. Could he catch the timing?
Cryptics around the corner, and he leaves.
That just made my heart drop, and then he ran back away.
Bruford has to get the bomb here. 32 seconds to make something happen. You're going to go right back up here. Cryptic spots him out. Bruford's going to escape. And now the race to B. Bruford baits him.
Did he, though?
Knows this.
Bruford needs to get the bomb down at one site. And I think right now you have Cryptics. He's just playing that position where you sit at a bomb site and you hold that one bomb site. Bruford has absolutely no idea where Cryptics is. So now he has to push out and check his angles. He does have this planted so he can watch it from the escalators. Oh, man.
Bruford's getting cheeky, though. Bruford's going for the full wrap. Cryptics. Not sure if he's going to know this. Bruford's making all the right reads right now, but Cryptics a little bit smarter. Give him the ace for the round. And Concord Gray with the clutch on map 2. We're going to lead this series 2-0.
Oh, my God. You got to think this whole game has got to be on the back of Cryptics for Concord Gray to be able to pull this win off right now. He finds those streaks in the early rounds by winning those early rounds and going on that huge streak. And then in that final round 11, he's able to pick up all 4 players, 3 with the streak he found in round number 2. And then finally he gets the last one with the gun skill itself. I mean, he just went so big for the side of Concord Gray, and they did what they couldn't do in the first time they played the series against Potomac State. They were able to take a search and destroy Seymour.
Cryptics has a sixth sense. I mean, Bruford made every single right read there to make the whole wraparound, made it interesting, got creative with that plant, minded the amount of time he had as well, knowing Cryptics was going to be a little bit patient in that, but somehow, some way, like he got eyes on the back of the head, like you could smell the gamer grip on his foot, on his hands, whatever you knew from Cryptics. Just gave him that option to turn around, close that out for the ace, and gives Concord Gray a 2-0 that we would have never guessed for. This is incredible, Cruz. A 2-0 for Concord Gray. We got control coming right on back, and Potomac State, they have to make that reverse sweep. We're going to head to a quick break, but we'll be right back with some more Alpha Stream. And we are back. Who would have guessed it? A 2-0 lead for Concord Gray. Jay Megatron must be feeding the right information to this team, Cruz, because they are on a roll right now. Unfortunately, though, they're meeting this Potomac State in control for map number 3. Potomac State's best game mode when you're comparing the two. So talk to me a little bit, Cruz, about this matchup now.
I mean, like you said, this is Potomac State's by far their best mode, and this is by far Concord Gray's worst mode. So if Concord Gray is able to pull out this map, Potomac State, you know they're doing something wrong right now. The first time these two teams played, it was a checkmate control, so not the same map, but it was a 3-0 win for the side of Potomac State. We now head towards Garrison, and Garrison does play a little bit different than it did the last time that these two teams have played each other, so maybe that's why it gets through in the pick and bans. But I mean, you still got to think at the end of the day, when you're looking at these two teams, Concord Gray is 0-4 on Garrison Control. This is not their best map mode combo and not their best mode by any means. So this is going to be a tough one for them to be able to 3-0 out here. A must-win map for the side of Potomac State. If they want to keep their CCL playoffs alive, I feel like this is the perfect position for them to be in to try to start this reverse sweep.
Oh, exactly. And on Concord Gray's side, if they're able to shut down this third map, would look phenomenal going into the playoffs, because this is a playoff spot game right now. Whoever takes this moves on into the playoffs, and I'm sure Concord Gray are hunting for that. They've made some great improvements. They're looking solid right now. We're going to hop into this Garrison Control to see if they can commit and convert to a 3-0 sweep over Potomac State, something that we both didn't see coming, but here it is right on our doorstep.
I mean, I think something that we just need to talk about as we're getting into this game too is that they are playing with the new updates. So the final round of defense, if we do end up going that full distance, will be decided by tick progress, by the total amount of ticks that your team's able to get on these zones, not by overall kills like normal. And I mean, we got to talk about the start from the side of Potomac State. They're able to get 3 right off the break, but Paralysis, he's able to answer back with 2, so that should at least slow down that spawn trap that really could have come in right off the bat for Potomac State.
And Phantom cutting off the spawns as well. Let's see if he can get another one. Cryptic's going for the stun check. Not gonna land, but Phantom crosses without checking both ways. I mean, that's something you should have learned in preschool. Look both ways before you cross the road, because Cryptix is gonna shut you down. Now looking for point control, and Nade gonna push Cryptix a little bit forward. You're not gonna be ready for this, but right across that, Kelly go for the trade. Cryptix and Paralysis for 3. Now they got point control.
Yeah, those kills are so huge. Point number 5, it's all up to him right now for the side of Potomac State. He needs to shut down these players because you got Paralysis all the way up in your spawn, but Kelly was able to push through the back. He was able to find 2, and that shuts down that first push. Yes, Concord Gray is still on that ace site. It stops that time, but they should be able to clean that player up relatively easily. But they're actually only sending 1 player over.
I want to take a look at Troll here. Takes out Valley.
And he gets the point.
And now Kelly has to go big right now. Kelly does exactly that. Kelly has been the thorn in the side of Concord Gray so far.
Cryptix, the furthest player forward right now for Concord Gray. When they get shut down here, they've only got 30 seconds left to be able to get this last zone. They're already down 5 lives as well. This is not a situation they want to be in, especially because you got Potomac State all the way in your spawn with Kelly. He's on a 4 spree. He might even be able to find streaks at the end of this first round.
Oh, Kelly finally gets cleaned up, but 17 seconds now. You have to go. You have to touch a point. If you're Concord Gray, you have to stall this. And A, you have 2 takes here. It looks like that's where they want to go. Sadly, Bruford to cut them off. Takes out the first one, gonna deny a big hit from these teams. And Cryptix is the last hope right now. 8 seconds left. Touches down on the point. The rest of your team is falling around him. Takes out Bruford. Takes out Phantom. So Cryptix and Troll turning up right now, but still back into the series where you have to touch 7.3 seconds left. Troll. 1.3 seconds. Stops the clock. 2 ticks onto B now.
They had to touch the zone. They've got 2 ticks onto both. It's going to be one of those situations. Bruford's coming up from behind, though. He can shut this down completely from the back. He kills the player, and it does. So Potomac State, it got a little scary towards the end, but really, it felt like they had control of that round for the most part.
Constantly for the side of Concord, it's because you're letting a player get into your backline unnoticed. I mean, it was first Kelly stopping both the B hit and the A hit at the same time, and then it was Bruford. The next up, we're able to shut it down. Valley in the back line. I mean, this is just something that you cannot let happen if you're Concord Gray. When you have that point control, you have to make sure you're checking all routes.
Johnny Boy's 0-7 through that first round. You got to think even if he gets a couple kills in that first round, they can probably secure a tick over at A or at B in that final tick. They were able to get 2 on both, just not able to close out either zone, leaving the door wide open for Potomac State to shut it down and close out the round. And now you can see Potomac State on offense. A much slower offensive hit so far from the side of Potomac State. They're able to push on in, get a couple of kills off the bat. Johnny Boy, though, will find his first. But I mean, Potomac State again, they're just trading out so efficiently, and already on this B site, that's going to be a guaranteed first tick.
Valley being that player to push out on the submachine gun roll, finally to get cleaned up. Bruford, second tick of aggression, going to swing wide to clean up another player rotating on. Cryptix, if you go down, that's going to be huge, but in fact, finds Bruford. Kelly cleans up too, so going to be able to put forward that second tick of progression on the B site. And you're looking at Troll here to stop this push this time around. Already gets 1. Can you find any more? Your team's falling around you, Troll. You have to make something happen. And Kelly watches the flank. A huge pick as the B side picked up now.
Kelly was ready for it. It's exactly what Kelly did in the first round, time and time again. He was ready to watch that flank, shuts him down coming through mid, and now because of the new update, you're able to capture this zone from the top platform. Kelly is on it. He stops the clock as well. They've got 2 minutes to work with here and 23 lives. I feel like there's no way they lose this round.
Stacking the point. Troll gets caught out. Luckily, Concord Gray running from the front line. A 1v1 onto Cryptix. Valley able to clean that one up. Now working on the third tick of progression, but you have Paralysis able to contest this. Able to work onto the staircase as well. Takes out Phantom. So a clean kill for himself. Looking to convert. Has Johnny Boy over the shoulder to take out Valley and shutting down this Potomac State push on the A site. Concord Gray staying alive right now, only down by 6 lives.
Oh no, tell me I didn't just cast or curse the side of Potomac State. They only need one more tick over towards A. Right now, you just got to slow down. They're playing very frantically and pushing out a lot. Just kind of slow it down. Make sure you guys can get those nice team pushes in towards each other, so then you're not just running in head-on gunfights over and over again. Troll's already able to find one more in the back. Make that 2 as Troll shuts down the push from the back, and now it's going to be at least another 20 seconds before we see Potomac State really trying to make another push out through mid.
Concord Gray for sure looking a little less frantic now that they have a little bit of stabilization on this. Kelly and Bruford for 2 now.
Still
Johnny
a 4
Boy
life
being that nuisance, and Kelly just giving the options here. Cryptic's the last line of defense, and Kelly picks him up as well. Oh, Paralysis, can you go huge for your team? A little bit bigger than huge right now, takes out 2. You find the third is going to be light forgiving for this Concord team. No respawns. A 3-life lead for Potomac State. And they're going to be stacking on top of each other for a full hit towards bricks.
Yeah, it's exactly the hit they want to do right now. You want to just push in through the bricks and try to pinch on all these 3 players who are set up on these powerful positions. But Paralysis has been so big in this round. If he can find at least one of these kills, it could slow them down enough.
I need to find a couple more. It's a 2v7,
and
they're going to get wiped on it. A full pinch from Potomac State to take a 2-0 lead. An attacking round. How many times do you see attacking round victories on Garrison Control? Not very often. Potomac State finding that one's going to be huge in their reverse sweep steps.
Absolutely. Up 2-0 here, and now they have the opportunity to close it out on a defense. And I mean, we could end up seeing the exact same thing that happened in the first time these two teams played, and that is a 3-0 going the side of Potomac State in that in the control. And I just got news as well from our producer. So they are actually playing on the old, not the old setup, but the old rules right now for control. So it's still going to be kills that end up deciding our final round. But I mean, even so, that means that Concord Gray not only need to win these next 2 rounds if they want to get a defense for the final round, but they also need to be able to push through. And that's already a 4 down for the side of Potomac State. And I mean, they could already set up a spawn trap.
It's like, you hit me, I hit back, and I hit harder. Now, Bruford watching the cross.
Oh, the worst timing.
Bruford, but luckily your team is going up big. Let's talk about Valley still rocking the MP5. Quite the fast gun here, but still up 2 on this control. Now playing for spawn kills. Anything you get here is just candy from the shop.
They're just so trapped right now. Concord Gray only has 35 seconds left now to try to make their way out of their spawn. They got to find these kills early on, but Valley with the MP5 is just ripping them time and time again. Oh my god, are we in for a new meta here?
Valley, you naughty boy. You cannot let that happen if you're Concord Gray, especially playing off this 24 seconds. You gotta go for this because the clock is not in your favor. Johnny Boy not checking his corner. Kelly's gonna sneak on through, be that nuisance in the backline, that annoying player that he's been all day long. Control. 13 seconds. You keep looking at this clock. The clock is going to be so big for this round. Concord Gray, this is your control life right now. Paralysis with 2. Now Troll has to touch down. Stops the clock at 3.5 seconds. Johnny Boy cleans up the player behind him. Possession on point. Troll going up huge. And everything now. This is a must win for Concord Gray on this point. They have to push the clock even farther.
All these trades are must win right now. They need to make sure they shut down this push from the side of
2 ticks.
Potomac State. And there they go. They get 2 ticks in. This should be at least the 3rd. So they're going to get the extra minute. Lives are actually only a 4 life difference right now as well, Seymour. So they're able to basically escape losing through that early round. Valley's in the top. He's able to shut down the first push from the side of Concord Gray. But now they're in the back. If they can try to make their push all the way through, it's only 1 player left, though, now in Troll. So he's kind of got to wait just for his reinforcements to come on through. Maybe find a kill, but Kelly already spots him out as well.
Oh, Troll, you got to stay alive here. You have to stay alive. Shot punch is good. Goes into breaks. Cryptic's helping you out with a pinch. 3 go down for Potomac State. Gonna stack the point for Phantoms. Phantoms in the back line. Annoying little Phantoms, the ghost that you did not expect to haunt your Christmas dreams. Not finding the second one. Paralysis for 2. Still on the point. Still good for time. Troll, if you found that, would have given it to you. Concord Gray push for another round.
How did they pull that round out? Oh my god. They had 3.5 seconds left. They hopped on B, shut down the clock. They finally got out of that spawn trap. And then what happens? They find all the kills middle map. They get the 3 stack onto A. Fully capture A, then they move right over towards B, and they fully capture B as well after getting a 4-man wipe. Just fantastic plays from Concord Gray there, really turning around their control in that last round.
Oh, pulls out the MP5. What are we playing Modern Warfare out here? Back into it. No more Cold War. Modern Warfare vibes with the MP5 output.
He was beaming with that thing too. Holy.
3.5 seconds. You would have wanted to see Potomac State group up to just clear that one last time with how low the time was. But now you had to win another attack here if you don't want it to go into a map 5. Concord Gray forced to win an attack, and it's exactly what they do.
Yeah, but the job's not done yet, though. Concord Gray, they need to not only win a defensive round here, but they need to win a convincing defensive round. They need a lot of kills here. You can still look over at that right side of the map. Every player on the side of Potomac State is still positive right now. So they are definitely in the lead right now when it comes to total lives. So they are set up right now to get that final defense if it goes the distance. So, I mean, if you're Concord Gray, not only do you need to win this round, but you need to win it convincingly.
Look at the stats here. On Potomac State has 20 kills. Absolutely
I don't even know if it's mathematically possible for Concord to, unless they like clean wipe them, to be able to win this final round, or to be able to force and get a defense in final round.
That's what I was thinking. Now has to be as clean as possible from Concord, and it's just a little bit chaotic at that. Kelly loses out on that. Cryptics can't get the second one. Bruford gonna keep the time taking on the B side. In fact, finding another second. So looking to clear out this third take, push the time forward, and have another life lead into this as well. But the A side has been troublesome to commit to it. Phantom could have found some kills, but now Concord Gray, like you say, chalks the B side, sets up for A.
And I mean, we were talking a lot about Concord Gray coming into this round, but Potomac State still can put this, Potomac State, they can still absolutely put this game away right now. Valley is trying to push through Cobble right now. They have the pinch set up in the hill, and now the time will stop. So they have a minute 18. They got a 5-life lead. They can absolutely put this game away right here.
Oh, Johnny Boy, though, had a stellar hard point. Now trying to keep him in. This paralysis was a hero on the A site. This time around, going to drop, give some more time. Kelly setting up for a first take. Another contention coming through, so you have to wipe another wave of players from Concord. Troll's going to clean that one up.
With the flank.
I did not see the shrieks from Bruford. Infest the cruise missile. 3 go down now. They're going to take that real estate of the A site. Johnny Boy. Oh, the nade's going to force him down low. The trophies, you're not able to get your nade out either. Bruford's still going big. Cryptics and Troll over the shoulder. Valley gets cleaned up. Johnny Boy almost flanks on a Phantom.
But it's Phantoms. He's the only one there.
Can they touch? I don't think they can touch that artillery strike to keep it. Potomac State. They're going to win another attacking round off that. Oh my lord.
They closed it out. That was absolute insanity as well. What a crazy final 2 rounds of the control. I mean, we didn't think Concord Gray was going to win that last round, or the third round. 3.5 seconds left. They capped the A zone, able to rotate over, get the B zone. And then from that last round, it just... I mean, if you're Concord Gray, I feel like you had every opportunity to still win that round on a defense, but you allow Potomac State to take 2 offenses in a row from you on Garrison. It's just, you just can't allow that to happen if you want to close this out in 3. Now you're opening the door for a possible reverse sweep from the side of Potomac State to come on back into this series.
And let me say, it's not as wild as the attacking win that Concord Gray had, but it's as clean cut as you can ask for from Potomac State. Exactly what you need from them. A bounce back on control. Now you're going back into hard point, which we were talking about were their bread and butter into this for the respawns. Has to force this Express S&D if they want to keep their playoff lives alive. And I'd say the ferocity from Concord Gray shut down in that control, and they were making that Cinderella run through this game. But now it's a battle, a fight for that playoff spot.
And I mean, we said it. We said that Potomac State, they needed to win that control, because now if you're looking towards this next hard point, Potomac State come into this hard point with a 3-3 record. Yeah, not the greatest, but it's no Concord Gray, who have not played this map in CCL. They are 0-0 on checkmate hardpoint. And I mean, we've said it going into the series, hardpoint not their greatest map it is their best map in mode combo. So I feel like this is one where they absolutely can put it away, but not when your best map gets vetoed out when you're 8-1 on raid.
Well, that's the whole story, is that, yeah, Concord Gray is stellar hardpoint team, but the fact that raid's not in it, now you got to worry a little bit for those hard points, and exactly what we're looking for. Luckily for Concord Gray, you're going to checkmate, which your ARs have been looking stellar today. and it's going to be a favorable assault rifle map. So the only thing I'm really worried about for Concord Gray is that plane control. And if the submachine guns can keep up with Potomac State going into this, because Valley, oh my lord, Valley was just on a tear in that control.
I mean, you're absolutely right. I think that the other big battle that I'd be looking out for right now has got to be towards that top plane as well, because oh my god, I can't even remember who it was. He was going so big in that last game towards the end of it. He was running the MP5. I can't remember what his name is now. I totally slipped my mind, but he,
On mine too.
yeah, he just time and time again was pushing through the back and just finding those kills over and over again for the side of Concord Gray. Trying to see if I can find his name. Paralysis. Wow. You know what's crazy too that we didn't talk about going into this is Paralysis actually before this series has only played 3 maps in CCL. He's come in and I feel like he's been the game changer for the side of Concord Gray here. And if he's able to do it again on this last map, I mean, it could spell lights out.
Very changing coming at this line for Concord Gray and showing a good stance, pushing into playoffs. A big change is exactly what Concord Gray needed, and it looks like the change is paying off now, leading 2-1. If you're just tuning into this, this is West Virginia University of Potomac State going up against Concord Gray University. And I mean, Concord Gray started off so hot. 250 to 181 Apocalypse hardpoint victory. 6-5 win on Moscow, and the one-on-one that we saw at the end could have gone either way, but Concord Gray kept that lead. They just lost out on the Garrison control, but now we're hopping into checkmate hardpoint to see if the map 5 can be pushed from Potomac State. And if it happens, man, oh man, do we have a war. These teams getting ready to hop into it, but having a little bit of trouble. We're going to hop to a little bit of a break while they're trying to get into it. So stay tuned for this map 4. And not a short break. We got into it. Checkmate hardpoint here. Map 4. Concord Gray going to close it out in 4. And Paralysis, the player that you highlighted, started off hot 1-0 from the battle around the corner. Cleans him up. Point control to Concord.
Oh, Potomac State's got to be careful. Concord pushes so far forward in the plane, and they do exactly what they need to do. Because they push so far forward, they block the spawn on the right-hand side, and like 20 seconds into the game, Concord Gray has already flipped these spawns out for the second hill.
A brilliant start. Look at number 7 though. Bruford picks up Johnny Boy. Now if you can clean up Troll on Finn, you're not even expecting it. Troll will get that damage in, and Bruford goes down. So Concord Gray do hold on to these spawns. 15 seconds of scrap time. Cryptix has help. Concord Gray having the beautiful start to checkmate that they need.
I mean, they haven't played this map, but they are looking solid coming out to start. Kelly's able to find 2 at least to slow down this, but they will continue to spawn towards that bottom right-hand side of the mini-map. But I mean, right now, for Potomac State, you've got the possibility to set up a pinch here on this next zone and try to zone them out. Kelly's able to win 2 in the back, and that should surely lock them in for these next spawns.
Paralysis, oh my. 5-3 right off the start. Looking to break this out. But Valley cleans it up. 3 go down for Concord Gray. Johnny Boy, the last one forward, trying to do some damage. But Potomac, right away, pulling themselves right back after a little bit of a blunder at this point 1. They're still going to commit to this one as well. You do see the wraparound, but Concord Gray staying out of this point as another 3 from Troll's the last one here, and it's just not the push that you needed. You have to set up for point 3 now.
Yeah, but it looks like they're going to try to pinch on in one more time to just try to at least contest the hill, but it's not going to come through. They're sending so many lives at this, like you said. At least for them, they do win all the gunfights, so they'll get the last 5 seconds or so and have the setup for the next hill. But, I mean, you can see Potomac State, after that very, very rough start that they have, they're able to push through, break the spawns early enough in the hill that they were able to get majority of time there, and now they find themselves in the lead as we head towards this 3rd hill.
Boy finds Valley. 4 go down instantly for Potomac State. Now you're spawning up point 2. Cryptix has plane control. This is what we were talking about for Concord Gray. Something important is going to be that control of the plane. Seeing how Valley was shooting last time around, but they're going to go for that point 4 rotation with those ARs within the crossfire. They just slay out on this Concord squad, and where we saw 4 go down for Potomac, 4 go down for Concord, and this, luckily for them, they have those point 5 spawns.
They do, but I mean, they still got to go to point 4 first as well, though. That's the big part. Like, Potomac State can absolutely just turn this away from just being on this side of the hill and being in this right now and being able to push it over and get in towards that 4th hill once again. And I mean, they're getting a ton of time here on the 3rd hill that not a lot of teams get a ton of time on. Now the spawns flip back around as well. So, I mean, what was good for them at one point for the side of Concord Gray is turning out to not be so great. You're seeing the reps that Potomac State have on this hill or on this game map and mode in particular is just coming into effect right now.
Valley on that MP5, like we were talking about. Annoying player to be going up against with that high rate of fire submachine gun. Luckily, Paralysis is on your team. If you're Concord, he's able to clean up a nice 2-piece to keep yourself in this. But like you said, the strain that Potomac had, able to give them a sizable lead. And now, the break from Concord, looking to transition this to a tie game. Around the corner, Paralysis is going to have a little bit of an interruption. Valley in the point, but peekaboo says Troll and Paralysis, and they get a nice wipe on this and even flip the spawns.
Yeah, and I mean, I think if Potomac are able to hold on, if Concord Gray is able to hold on to the rest of this, we'll be at right around a tie game to close this one out. And, I mean, even better for them, they're able to flip the spawns out, so now they hold on to the spawns as we head towards this 5th hill. And I mean, you can already see Cryptix is set up. All the side of Potomac State, they need to try to break on into this and set up for a push, but they take individual gunfights. They lose out on 2. And I mean, now you just got to wait. You got to let your teammates come back off spawn to try to push this as a team.
Tie game. Cryptix went huge in the search to win that round 11. Now look at that, hold the front line, but wow, that head went pop! Kelly shooting nukes, literally. And it's going to force Concord Gray off this point for a few seconds. Able to start that front line push. Bruford for the swing. Slides on in, finds a pick with Valley pinching him out. And a good break for Potomac.
They still have 30 seconds left that they can get on this hill as well. So, I mean, they can absolutely take around a 40-second lead here as we look to head in towards our second set of rotation. So, you know Concord Gray doesn't want to give this up yet. And Cryptic pushes from the front. He's able to find a few. And now, I mean, at this point with 15 seconds left, you have to try to hold this from the front. If you're Concord Gray, you're only going to send Cryptic and leave him here in the hill. He's able to pick up one more. That's so huge for the side of his team because now it's basically going to tie us up at right around 100 as we head towards the end of our first rotation. It's still anybody's game.
What a key one-on-one to win. Even the 2-on-1 sadly. That MP5 finds a third. Troll goes huge. Take a look at Kelly, though. Take a look at Kelly. Kelly takes out Johnny Boy. That's going to interrupt the spawns for the P2 rotations. That's a toss-up. You do see Concord Gray spawning out. Now everybody on the plane, this is going to be crucial. This is going to be a bloodbath. This is going to be so important to influence the spawns for the next one. Troll and Paralysis 4-2. But Potomac State spawning in that .2 spot. All 3 players make it all 4 players. And Concord Gray forced in a situation where they have to break the spawns once again.
I mean, it looks like they're already going to do it. It's only 1 player left here from the side of Potomac State. And, I mean, yeah, he's going to fall. So spawns will go back to the side of Concord Gray, and they get the majority of time here on this first hill, even if they were to give it up now with only 10 seconds left. And I mean, Cryptic did such a good job of just shutting down the push and just holding on and contesting, so Potomac State doesn't get a ton of time there. So they get majority time from Concord Gray, and they get the setup. But they got broken very early here the last time. We'll see if they can hold better.
Paralysis. Front line, Valley around the corner. MP5 doesn't even check it, so it doesn't have the chance. Up next is going to be Phantom. Slide and jump. Going to take him down. Spawn still in favor of Concord, though, and you have a split right now from Cryptix pushing the front of this yellow tank. Watching the cross, though. Potomac State down by 40 at the moment. 30 seconds still to be had on this, and they're not even getting close to touching this. If Bruford goes down, it's going to be such a stagger out to contest the second point.
Much better hill from the side of Concord Gray. They're able to push on through, shut down any push from the side of Potomac. And I mean, they're going to find themselves up 70 seconds here. Paralysis putting a few extra shots in as well. It really comes down to that spawn, to holding that last time through. I mean, we could maybe even see them close to putting this game away if they were able to do that same hold in the first rotation. But now Potomac State, they got to answer back with a hold of their own. But you could already see Concord Gray has already put a lot of pressure on this top lane, and they can shut down any push that Potomac State tries to really do on this next hill.
Concord looks dangerous, and it's because of Paralysis. 25 and 17 on a 6 spree, playing for streaks. And everybody actually on Concord Gray playing their part at the moment. 10 seconds away from crossing the 200-point marker. Paralysis picks up the artillery strike, trying to play his life dancing around this point. Finally gets dropped to 3 spree for Potomac State. They're able to break on this hill. They're able to take some time back, look to kind of start their climb into this game. These next 2 hills are going to be so important, but Valley gets cleaned up by Cryptix, and that's such an interruption from Potomac State.
Yeah, but I mean, Potomac State right now, what they have to do is they just have to push on in towards the hill and just try to shut them down. Any push that comes in from the side of Concord Gray, it's not going to happen, though, as Paralysis continuing on this hot streak for himself. And I believe 2 players on the side of Concord Gray right now both have artillery strikes. Not the best thing to use on this map, but I mean, still, just having those pings and being able to drop bombs in a few different places can be the difference maker.
With the trigger discipline. Oh, a team nade. Beautiful. Technically, 4 players go down for Potomac State. Going to give the free real estate to Concord Gray here. And honestly, they can win off this point. So Potomac State, they have to go for contention here. Paralysis looking to slay the lane. Exactly what he's doing with Troll watching over his shoulder.
I think they're 1 tick off being able to win on this one, unfortunately.
1 tick off would be... I don't think Potomac State want to put all their eggs in 1 tick.
No, absolutely not. But I mean, they can't even get close to this hill right now.
At the moment, no. Concord Gray look phenomenal. Concord Gray moving over to the 0.5 though at the moment, and Potomac State gets the contestation, break them out, and the spawns flipped.
Yeah, but at this point, Concord Gray, they just have to break it 1 time on this back hill. And I mean, we've seen them break this hill the last time through as well. Potomac State was fully set up. They got broken, and Concord Gray got the remaining 30 seconds on this hill. If they can do it again, they can put the game away here, only needing 18 seconds left to put this game away.
Rupert stabs Cryptics in the back. Christmas in the kill feed. Both teams finding their gifts. Valley looking to make a little bit of a troublesome interruption. Phantom spawns a little bit out. Another spawn flip, but Potomac State, they have to fight from the front line here. Phantom does his best. Johnny Boy does get the trade, even finding a second one. So point control to Concord Gray. Another force for Potomac State to contest this.
I don't understand why he pushes out and challenges that plate there. There's no need. Well, maybe it's because Paralysis is dropping streaks, and that's going to close this game out. No way they touch the hill.
Another 30 for Paralysis, another 30 for Troll, and another artillery strike for 3. Call it 4 with the team kill. Nobody can touch it. Concord Gray in a game 4. Close out the series, and they're going to be moving on to your playoffs.
Oh my god. Remember when I said streaks don't matter that much on this map? Apparently I was wrong, as they dropped 6 on that final hill with streaks alone. Close out the game. What a finish for the side of Concord Gray. I mean... you got to put that one on Paralysis, right? He's that time and time again in this entire series, he's able to push into the hills. He's able to get every little kill that he needed to get to put every one of these maps away. Yes, that second Moscow could have gone either way in that round 11 1v1.
Oh, yeah.
But at the end of the day, they clutched up. They got the final kills, and they were able to close out the game. And I mean, they were able to do what they weren't able to do in the first series, and that was take a search and destroy. Potomac State, they couldn't. They could not take a hard point off the side of Concord Gray.
Not at all. Apocalypse and Checkmate going the way of Concord Gray. And we talked about that round 11 win from Cryptic. So crucial to the victory tonight. Got to give some to himself. But Paralysis coming into the roster. Only 3 games in the CCL before tonight. Turning up the way he did. Getting those streaks. Dropping a 3-piece at the end there to keep him off that point. And we talked about Troll and Paralysis so consistent through the night to give him that win. Concord Gray, they're dangerous. They're looking for food. And I mean, Potomac State, they might be going home tonight, not making it to the playoffs, but I look forward to seeing them next year because they are a solid squad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't think that either me or you really thought that they were going to end up going home today, but unfortunately their respawn just sold them a little bit short. And I mean, like you said, very good showing from them this year. I'm not sure if this was their first year or their second year in CCL, but either way, I mean, you come out, you finish the year with a 10-7 record, you at least get into the play-in qualifier. Unfortunately, you fall a little bit short here, and Concord Gray just came out, and they just came out a little bit hotter tonight, and it was able to just put it away early.
I mean, you got to give something to the coaching staff of Concord Gray. Really kind of making a little bit of a variation into their map pool going into playoffs. So I keep calling them dangerous, and dangerous, in fact, is what they have. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be going to a quick break before our match number 3. We got some more playoff games ahead of us, so stay tuned for some more CCL action.